Well, I love Kenneth Branagh. I mean, you guys know this, right? I mean, I've loved him since I really started enjoying films, and I really love what he did with Thor as a director, but I also love him as an actor. And of course, Ryan Reynolds, good Canadian kid, is my favorite movie star. I don't think he's the best actor on the planet, but he's my favorite movie star. I've always loved Ryan Reynolds. And of course, he was a sponsor of our channel for several years. So thank you for that, Ryan. Well, there's a new trailer dropped today for a new movie. He and, of course, the aforementioned greatness called Mayday. Ryan Reynolds is stranded behind enemy lines in John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein's Cold War comedy. Now, if those names, John Francis Daley and Jonathan Goldstein, sound familiar, these are the guys who did Game Night, which is a tragically underrated comedy. If you haven't,
good.
Oh, it's so good. If you guys haven't seen Game Night, make sure you watch Game Night. But then most importantly, well, maybe to me at any rate, they directed that great Dungeons and Dragons movie with Chris Pine. That absolutely, again, nobody went to go see. And they totally should have, because that movie is great. Anyway, so Kenneth Branagh plays an ex-KGB agent who becomes the American pilot's unlikely ally in the Apple film. So the basic gist, if you've seen the trailer, which dropped today, is it's set in the midst of the Cold War in the mid-1980s. Ryan Reynolds plays a pilot of an SR-71 Blackbird that is flying over Russia, gets shot down, and now he's stranded in Russia. And this former KGB agent, once again, played by Kenneth Branagh, finds him in the middle of the woods. But luckily for Ryan Reynolds' character, Branagh's ex-KGB agent is also a guy who actually loves America and loves their culture and all that kind of stuff. And he decides he's going to help Ryan Reynolds' character get out of the country. All right. What did I think about the trailer? There's two different thoughts I have. Thought number one is, I thought the trailer itself is actually very good. Like I watched the trailer and I'm like, this looks great. It looks funny. And I was a little bit pessimistic at first, I admit, but I thought it looks really funny. Kenneth Branagh can do action. Oh my God. Like, unless they CGI'd his face, but they trained him to do so.
He could be the next Liam Neeson.
He could be the next Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
I mean, the action stuff looked great. Some of the lines were really funny. I like movies that throw me into a situation where I'm like, how the hell do they get out of this? And they had several of those in the trailer. I love putting it in that time period. It's been a while since we've had a good Russian bad guy. Like not since Ivan Drago. Have we had a
early 90s?
The end. Exactly. And I thought it looked great. Until I realized.
Uh-oh. I know what you're going to say.
This is getting dropped straight to Apple TV.
What a shame.
All due respect to Apple TV, because they put out some awesome television. Their television is getting close to rivaling HBO's quality level. But their original movies often suck. I remember that Tom Hanks one where he was the World War II Navy captain.
Yeah.
Like Warwolf or Shit Sink or whatever it was called.
Yeah, that's what it was.
It should have been great. It wasn't very good. It just flat up wasn't very good. And as soon as I saw that this thing was being dumped, instead of being put out theatrically, was being dumped on Apple TV Plus. And listen,
Greyhound, the audience is saying.
What's that?
Greyhound was the name.
Greyhound. That's exactly, yes, it's exactly what it was called. Shit Sink. So maybe this is fair or completely unfair. Okay. I admit this might be completely unfair, but I don't choose this. This is just what goes off in my head. As soon as I saw it's going to Apple TV, I'm like, oh, it must suck. It must suck. Because how do you get a movie that can on the surface look like this? You got Kenneth Branagh, you got Ryan Reynolds. This is something that should be theatrical, especially when coming from Amazon, which has kind of in recent years been doubling down on theatrical and putting a lot of stuff out theatrically. And but why not this one? And I'm sorry, but the only conclusion, and maybe it's unfair, But the only conclusion I come to is the movie must not be very good. And again, I love the trailer. I think the trailer is great. I obviously love Ryan Reynolds. I love Kenneth Branagh. But I just got to be honest with you. As soon as I saw that it was being dumped straight to Apple TV, I went, there must be a reason for that. And the reason is probably that it's not all that good. And I hope I'm wrong. I totally hope I'm wrong. We'll find out. Anyway, Rob, you had a chance to see the trailer for Mayday. What did you think about the trailer?
Well, first of all, when you have planes like SR-71s and,
designed in Burbank, by the way,
Francis Gary Powers vibe, I'm just like, I'm so in. And look, like you pointed out, Kenneth Branagh and Ryan Reynolds, what an unlikely pair, but I was in, and I love Cold War stuff. I grew up in the days where the Soviet Empire was the evil empire, according to Reagan, and they were great villains. They were great foils, and they made great villains in movies. And watching them try and escape from, the KGB or whatever, I'm so in on this. Now, I know, I think you're right about it's dubiously going to a streaming service, but at least it's going to the best in terms of other than HBO, at least Apple, my beloved Apple, And by the way, Star City finished up last Friday, so to get back into period Russia, I'm stoked. And I gotta say, this is right up my alley. I mean, if this came out theatrically in 1987, I would have seen it opening weekend. I really would have.
But it would have been Chevy Chase instead of Ryan Reynolds.
But it would have been Chevy Chase. And listen, to be fair, it's not like every movie that gets dumped straight to streaming is bad. We'll just take Ryan Reynolds, for example. The Adam Project, right? I had my doubts about the Adam Project because it was being dumped straight to streaming, and I ended up really enjoying that film a lot. We recently had the, who was in The Old Guard again? Who's the star of The Old Guard?
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron. That Charlize Theron movie, Old Guard, I actually ended up really liking it. The problem is, for every one Adam Project and for every one Old Guard, there's like 20 giant pieces of crap. And so that's why. So can it still end up being really good? It can. There is a possibility. My automatic thing in my head is like, yeah, I doubt it though, because most of them suck. So I don't know. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this trailer for Mayday? I actually think the trailer looks really good. I'm just having a hard time believing in it because it's being dumped straight to streaming. But again, there have been some that have done that I've actually really liked. Maybe this is one of those situations. Did you like the trailer? Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Guys, we want to take a second and thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Look, guys, we talk about mental health a lot around here and a lot more openly these days, but actually raising your hand and asking for help, it can still feel incredibly hard. I mean, we wouldn't hesitate to tell a friend it's good to talk to somebody, but society still makes us think twice when it's our turn. BetterHelp is working to bridge that gap. They are the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 6 million people globally with a network of over 30,000 fully licensed, high-quality therapists who work under a strict code of conduct. And the bottom line is that the data shows it works, holding an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 for a live session based on over 1.7 million client reviews. BetterHelp handles the initial matching work for you through a short questionnaire tailored to your needs and preferences. Plus, their industry-leading match fulfillment rate means they usually get it right the first time, but if you ever want to switch, you can do so at any time. Don't let stigma stand in the way of support. Start therapy with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's betterhelp.com/Campea.